Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to the Summit 6 qualifiers. We're going to be taking a look at game number 3 here. It's ProDota Gaming facing off against Fantastic 5, and what do you know, we got another Centaur.
Yeah, but this time we've got the big horse-eating man, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
We've also got the Wisp attached, so Wisp plus Lifestealer will kill Centaur very, very quickly. So Nix is also pretty good against OD, doesn't have to worry about the Arcane Orb so much. You can't Astral him really. Then he does pretty high burst damage, and he's physical, so he does pretty well against both of the cores, currently picked by F5. It's one of the problems of picking 2 cores straight away.
Yeah. Well, not to
And
mention,
you've got the ban coming out, so...
Yeah, they also took the ban of the Oracle, so in the first phase, they to me, I'm curious your opinion on this also. The Oracle felt like the strongest part of that draft. Like, Centaur is going to do what he does. OD kind of did what he did, was able to save the Centaur at various points, but it was really that Oracle with like the last second false promises and, you know, stacking up those Purifying Flames as well. Would you agree? Do you think that it's less potent without the Oracle?
Yeah, I always feel this, like, when a team wins with a draft, okay, and then they go, okay, we won with that draft, let's try and do something the same again. They never quite get something that's as good in the following game. So, it's like, yeah, they don't have the Oracle now, will they be able to get a support duo that is quite as effective as the last game? Probably not. And will ProDota pick something that's better against this Centaur OD? Probably. So, they get the 1-2 item, which is pretty good against Lifestealer. But it's not good at making him kill his teammates because Rage will stop that. But yeah, they're just gonna try and do a similar strategy, but with a slight variation on the heroes used.
Right. Well, I guess that also is dependent upon Lifestealer getting that Rage off. The cast range for Winter's Curse is pretty good, and if you manage to get it as like Iowa's relocated in or something, obviously there's it would be Lifestealer messing up if he is going to like relocate in and not Rage as a Winter Wyvern's nearby. But regardless, Timbersaw is going to be the other pick. Another one of those just breaking through strength heroes. Do you think that this is they're going to try and match the Timber up against the Centaur Warrunner in the offlane, or is offlane Timber pretty dead?
It's not dead by any means. I think you're most likely to see it. You just want, it's mostly, I think, safe lane hero now, but lots of people, like, when they pick a Timber, they try and go aggro trial, and they try and put this Timber in a 1v1 safe lane, because a Timber, there aren't that many safe lane 1v1s that he loses. Right. Centaur definitely isn't one of them. So, it's also, Timber's way better at pushing out lanes than the cores they had in the previous game. He, unlike Slark, is able to constantly fight. He doesn't have to worry about having a BKB or having his ulti to fight. Or Shadow Dance. And Lifestealer is also another one of these heroes that Rage is quite low cooldown, so you can pretty much be able to go in whenever you really want. So I think in order to get a similar effect to last game, I think Fantastic 5 are going to have to go fairly heavy on the laning phase. So I'm going to be interested in seeing where their center ends up, because if you remember in the last game, he started off very, very poorly. He died twice in the aggro try and then died again on the top lane. And then we were even considering, like, where could he farm, because he was level 4 at 6 minutes and he was trying to get the scraps of what Beastmaster left for him. So it was, and they still won that game. So if they do better in the laning phase, maybe they can overcome the lack of the Oracle that they have in this game.
Well, and the thing that I'm also a little bit curious about now is a vehicle for the Lifestealer outside of just the laning stage, because that's something else that we could see ProDota Gaming use to try and shut down the Centaur even further. Even if the Centaur ends up having a great laning stage, you could maybe have some type of a nice combination with the Lifestealer bursting out onto Centaur. Maybe that's just the Timbersaw, but the Morphling is going to get taken out. So all of the cores picked up for ProDota Gaming. Here's a question. Do you think that you have to have more wave clear out of the rest of your heroes? Like, would a Coddle work good for ProDota?
I think if they picked a Coddle, their laning stage would be very, very susceptible to any successful roaming from the Ogre. But I think... Okay, so if you're ProDota, like, I don't think you're comfortable with any of your cores being particularly underfarmed against a Centaur OD draft, because OD, like, while you do want to have quite a few cores against him, because you have multiple sources of damage that you can't just, like, Astral and ignore, you also have a problem where OD is really good against heroes that he's like an item or two ahead of. So you just want to have quite a bit of farm on each hero, and I'm not even certain that the Morphling may be a core in this case because he's not the greatest versus OD, but his replicate is very good versus the Centaur, and he isn't that good against roamers, but he is quite good at forcing a reaction on the offlane. So they could just try and put Timbersaw mid and Lifestealer on the safe lane, and then do like an offlane or support Morphling. But we'll find out from this last pick.
That'd be pretty interesting. I mean, Centaur Warrunner isn't going to want to pick up at BKB most likely, so that really long disable. I mean, I guess though that's kind of feeding into what Centaur wants. He doesn't really want to hit
like,
things anyways.
Stay right there in front of my tower. He's gonna go shit, but my tower's dead. But you could stun him before he gets to the tower.
There you go.
Or something. Lich. All right, they're just going pretty hard in the laning stage.
Yeah.
They just want to make sure the Centaur doesn't have a good start. They want to make sure the Timber has a good start, and then Morphling and Lifestealer. Well, those are the two heroes that are mainly going to profit off of the kills that they get. And this Morphling's probably going to build fairly standard. They want to get levels on him quite quickly. If he gets a replicate of the Centaur, he can use that to his own ends quite easily. And the Wisp is like the kind of odd one out here. It's not that fantastic with any of these heroes. So if the Wisp starts having a bad game, I think he's going to have a difficult time getting back into it. And if the Ogre has a good rotation, I think it may also make it quite difficult for the Lich to really feel that he's got a purpose in life. So.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. There's still a lot on the line as far as seeding in the rest of this tournament. A quick little reminder, everybody out there, this is the final game of the first round, and I'll switch over, show the schedule. Vegas Squadron were able to beat out Empire 2-1. We had the Elements Gaming 2-1 Power Rangers, Friends 2-1 in KP, and this final game is to determine the last set of it. And Storm Spirit's the pick for Illidan, so he's going to be taking that one for himself, and it looks like instead it's going to be a Centaur offlane, the elusive hero that we haven't seen all that often. What do you think about this reaction?
Well, if you see that the Morphling's being picked up and the Lich, that means that the Morphling is going to be a carry, right? So he's not going to be the offlane, he's not going to be support, so that means that there is a grand total of 1 disable.
Yep.
So at that point you might start considering the hero that does pretty well against the no disables, but then again, will ProDota hit critical mass on the heroes before Storm can actually start jumping around? Because once Storm gets a Bloodstone on like level 13, 14, maybe an Oblivion stuff, like that is the point where if you don't have a disable, he starts killing everyone. But can he get to that point before the Timbersaw starts getting like a Bloodstone and a Cloak, and Morphling gets his Lincolns up, and Lifestealer gets all this stuff? I don't know.
Well, here's my other question that I'm looking at real quickly also is, do you think then that they switch up and actually have the Centaur build Blink and go like the more traditional route that this hero normally would take, and then just try and play it straight with like Storm Spirit gain out of control and the OD being able to find, like, get a bunch of kills around the map and just continually punish them that way?
Yeah, I think they have to, because if this Centaur tries to be the tanky man that the Centaur in the last game was, if he tries to get like this Vanguard, this Hood and all that stuff, he's gonna get looked at by Nakes, and then Nakes is gonna walk over to him and he's gonna eat his face. So if he needs to get the Blink, he probably needs to get the Force Staff, he needs to be the reliable disable for the Morphling, he needs to be the one that catches out the Wisp. His ulti's going to be pretty useful in this game as well, because Timbersaw's not very good at chasing against the Centaur ulti. But it's just, I'm worried that F5 are just going to get liched, and they're going to have a bit of a hard time in the laning stage.
Well, either way, we'll see how it ends up working out. ProDota Gaming facing off against Fantastic 5, the final game in this best of 3, and apparently we're not starting. Way to be anticlimactic. Oh, that's great. So then with that Lich getting taken down there, what's the big fear? How's this going to shake things up and make things worse for Fantastic 5 in their safe lane?
Alright, what happened last time that Fantastic 5 got aggro tri-laned into with Illidan playing some hero that's not usually seen on the safe lane very often? He kind of fell over a lot. So I think as long as they keep the Storm alive and they get decent levels on the Wyvern and Ogre, they can be pretty happy with anything that comes out of that tri-lane, if it is even going to be a tri-lane with those heroes in it. So I think in this laning stage, they really want to get the Blink on OD if they want to go for that. They want to get a certain amount of farm on OD. So
Okay.
You just really need this Odie to be the one that kind of forces items out of ProDota and makes them play carefully.
I didn't realize that Winter Wyvern had sets. I thought that wasn't a thing.
It's like a really kind of... It's quite nice.
Yeah, look at that. Looks like Articuno. Like the real Articuno.
Oh yeah, the wings do, yeah. The
Yeah.
end of the wings.
It's nice.
Oh, little flappy bird thing. Makes him look like always makes her look like a lot less of a dragon, and it's like she just is a flappy bird thing now.
That's great. And Ogre just he's just precious. Look at this guy.
Look at him. Yep, still ogre. Hasn't changed.
Get into the game, you scrubs. We want to watch Dota. Well, nonetheless, they were already getting a couple of
The
warnings.
mechanics just get more and more edgy as time goes on. Now it's just got this is one with like spikes all around the neck with really evil red eyes. Oh, that's very spooky. Timber Square's just got goggles on. Yeah, this just the item's just called goggles.
What the heck is this thing? This guy looks... I don't know exactly what it is. It's like a mixture of... like a Hydralisk and... It's like a Hydralisk and an S&M bar or something.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Monster.
This is...
Was he a
Fucking
person
spectacle
once?
there,
Was
but-
that... He's wearing pants, right?
Well, the idea about Lifestealer is there was a wizard who got imprisoned or whatever, and then
Tell me
he
a story.
basically couldn't escape, and then he was in a cell with a very angry, evil, life-stealing beast, and then he cast his mind into the life-stealing beast, and then he was like, I'm going to take this over, and this is going to be my new body, and I'm going to escape this prison. And then the beast thing, like, was really, really powerful, and basically had complete control, but like the wizard now thinks he's controlling Lifestealer, but he really isn't.
Oh.
So he's just basically taken along for the ride while this guy eats people's faces.
Well, that's kind of takes over a whole new meaning with Infest and all those other shenanigans that go on, control creep and stuff. That's very lore. It works within the lore of the hero. I like that. I don't know exactly.
The only lore I have any idea about in this game. The rest of it is just not very interesting, I think. Because everyone else seems to have some vague problem with some institution that happened 2,000 years ago,
Right.
and they're going to take their stresses out on these random people. But Lifestealer, he just doesn't give a shit, he just eats people's faces, so it's pretty cool.
That's good. I like Ogre's lore. It's great. I think it's just... Oh, no, that's a silly one. All right, well, they spotted that. That's going to hurt. A little unfortunate for Yul. This should get immediately dewarded. And a little bit of gold into the coffers for Kefka. This is more his style of hero, so I'm curious to see him play that, and if he ends up getting a little bit of a better time this time around. His Venge for play the first game was pretty good, but I mean it was just inherent based off of their laning that was going to be good. But this
Yeah,
one-
that game seemed more like a complete crisis for two lanes. Like the Mirana just kind of killed people in quick succession. And I've had a look at the Ogre's lore, and it's about as you'd expect. Like he's just Ogres are just very stupid things, right?
Yeah.
But the Ogre, he's happened to be born with two heads, and he becomes a genius amongst his people. And then apparently the Ogre with two heads is just a bit below the average creature with one.
Yeah.
And then he's just got sent out to go and do stuff. And he also is apparently very, very lucky, which explains the whole multicast thing. That's like meant to be a thing about his person, so...
What a great hero. What a great model. What a great guy. Yoel's playing it. We're actually in the game now. We can talk more about the lore. Actually, I really enjoy discussing it from time to time, particularly when you have these, like, 10-minute pauses that do come
So
about.
look at the middle lane with the OD, who is known for being a harbinger of destruction and death. And Water, who, I don't know, the Waterman is, I don't know his lore, but I'm sure it's very interesting.
Morphling. Absolutely. Well, Yoel is just going to not even care and throw some ignites at his face. And this is always a tough time to be a mid-lane Morphling. I was not expecting this. I was kind of... I guess I don't know exactly what I was expecting. I was kind of thinking it was going to be Timber mid, but meanwhile it's going to be Illidan versus him. in this off lane here. How do you feel like these lanes work out? Like, to me, it just thinks I think OD's gonna have the time of his life in this lane.
I don't think it's going to be that great. I think this lane gets harder. When the Ogre runs out of mana, which he's going to after the next Ignite, I think it just gets more and more difficult because eventually the Lich starts getting levels. He'll start being able to use his Frost Blast, which doesn't have lore. The Frost Mage Ithrian has not forgotten even the simplest of ice manipulation. So he'll be using that, and he's going to be throwing that, the OD. So as this lane goes on, it gets harder and harder.
All right.
And I like the fact that they've got the Storm versus the Timber because that's one of the better lanes for a Storm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, an interesting start. This has also meant that it's a Centaur jungling with Iron Talon. Does not want to go in and contest, which is going to give Come With Me a good amount of time to farm up for himself. Not to mention, start to apply some pressure to this tower. They go for a single pull, gain a little bit of extra creep action in there, and in the meantime, OD kind of has to contend with this for himself. This tower's taken a good bit. Like, can they take it down at that 3-minute mark with the first catapult?
They could try. They're getting a lot of damage on it. How's Centaur doing? Centaur's sitting at level 3. He's got his Iron Talon. I think someone's going to go up there. I think Yol is probably going to TP up there fairly soon because he's going to recognize that this is going on, and he doesn't really do that much at middle anymore. So, yeah, the OD's just got a bit more than I thought he would because Morphling shouldn't really be letting him get this much CS, but OD's only level 2, so yeah, it's going to get harder.
Well, this is the play right.
Kefka on the bot lane. Yeah. Kefka on the bot lane has got less than half the CS of the Storm.
I mean, it's an offlane Timber Saw though, so he's pretty comfortable. They do another single pull now, and this is not going to have their creep wave with it that has the catapult, but it's going to come a little bit earlier than that, and they might be able to do something more here as Timber deals a little bit more damage to RMN. I don't know if they're actually going to come and contest this. They're pressuring this tower pretty consistently.
So, like, Centaur's got a TP, right? He's got to go, yeah. So he sees a double wave with 2 range creeps, and he goes, alright, I'm just going to get my level 4 then. Unless they can dive him, which they will.
Well, the stomp.
He gets the stun off right before the rage. So.
Top tower is under attack.
They can't zone him out of XP here. Or maybe they can. Or they can zone him out of the range creeps, maybe.
Yeah,
they're not even doing that. Oh, one of them. Oh, not. No,
the catapult's coming in, also. That's the other thing here. So they're in between the towers. The wraparound is coming from Yol, but he's not going to get there before the creep wave gets to the tower. And now with this going on, it starts to get a little bit more hairy. Mid lane is still being pressured in.
Wisp is in danger now.
They almost found that kill. Come with me, dealing damage. Raged, right clicked. Come with me, dropping low, not dead yet, and bottling up through it. They do manage to find that kill, but they also lose the Centaur.
Ogre got a bit of farm out of that, so Ogre's going to be the main beneficiary for Radiant team for that one. The Lifestealer, he got a little bit more farm. He gets his trads, so at this point, if anyone goes near him, they're probably going to die in quick succession. So London pops his Mango, buys his Mana Boots. Kefka's got max Timber Chain, so he should be fine here.
Yeah, also those 2 points in reactive. Always great, so survivability and getting a decent amount of farm, but still the pressure is being mounted up here top.
BZZ's getting bopped a bit, but he should be okay. Yol comes to the rescue.
What a guy. Mr. Yol. Well.
Centaur comes back in for his regular double wave and 2 range creeps.
Alright, Kefka finding a kill, and meanwhile mid lane, I'm missing all the kills. God damn it. OD is going to drop 2, so they lose 2. The Morphling finds 1, and the Timbersaw finds the other with a little bit of help from Come With Me.
Yeah, this Morphling's just getting quite a bit farmed now. He's got his bottle and his boots coming back to him now, so he's got quite a lot more to throw at this OD, who has his bottle, but he's level 3 at 5 minutes. He's really suffered as a result of this Lich plus Morphling.
Trading
Kefka
hits.
getting that kill on RMN really helps, because they get this control over this hard camp stack.
Still doing a decent amount to Garter here with his Ignite. Switches back over to
mana to
Strength
morph
Form. And
he's trying to like morph all the way down so he can get like really efficient bottling, but he doesn't have enough mana to do so.
it's frustrating. I'll be back good again in a second. And now with the Arcane Boots for Kefka in the bottom lane, I mean, you get that double heal for himself. This is pretty good, and it does feel like he can start to do a decent chunk of damage to the Storm here. Might actually just go down, and with the right clicks, they find that kill. Io picks it up. Nicely played.
barely the call of the void to walk into that remnant as the tower shot goes after him.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Goth is going to fight Aramen for the rune here, but Aramen's going to be scared off. Knocking rune for the Morphling.
Garter.
He might try and pop up and chase us down.
There's Io in the area too, and with the waveform, they don't even. Well, he probably didn't need to use it, but does in the end anyways. As Lifestealer takes the tower up top and
hit the waveform. Didn't need to. And Lifestealer just walks off inside the range creep. So the problem is, like, a lot of heroes you think, like Storm does completely fine in very early stages versus Timbersaw. But as Timbersaw hits level 6 and Storm isn't level 6, any hero that rotates down is an immediate kill threat on the Storm. So the Wisp just giving him the added movement speed means Storm just can't get away.
Yeah.
And with the overcharge, like, there isn't enough damage to deter him, so now this Timbersaw has got a pretty safe way to get to his next few items, his point booster if he wants it, his soul ring, and then he can start farming the hard camp or push out the lane and then go farm his own hard camp. Looking pretty good for him.
meanwhile mid we've got still a decent contingent of heroes moving into there. Did he actually get hit by that? He did not get caught by that ignite, so a little bit off. Yol taking some damage with Biver here too. They can at least, I mean, not do a ton of damage to the tower, but something. We've also got the centaur is going to start roaming in towards the side. Now they're not going to go for it. Instead, just going to mess with the centaur and try and take him down. 60 HP, 25. Can they find him? The balls are chasing. They've got that increased movement speed. What? Come with me.
Doesn't have boot.
Not quite in the range. He's going to pay for it now.
Is coming in. Oh no, maybe. Looking at but
They get the
they're
astral.
gonna kill this guy.
I think they might try and fight this.
Oh,
They've got the
charge
tether
going
in. Come with me. They make it happen and looking for BZZ. Not going to be able to find it yet. Yol might pay though, and with the Winter Wyvern taking down the Lich on the back line, just a one-for-one exchange as the Life Stealer finds BZZ. He goes down. And yeah, 2 for
Face-eating
1.
man. Eating faces. On all this while, Kefka gets the farm away. Illidan, he's got 50 CS, but he doesn't really have that much he can do with it. It's going to be a while before he really feels relevant. And before then, like, this Morphling might get, like, Tread Tequila or whatever. It's just a bit hopeless for him to try and do stuff right now.
Well,
But I think they just need to take action away from this middle lane so OD gets a bit of time to catch up, because he's falling further and further behind. Morphling's getting further and further ahead.
Radiant's bottom
At least
tower
for now,
is under attack.
with Come With Me roaming in. They've got a little bit of a... I mean, it's interesting because he's heading off this direction. Doesn't really have any wards or anything to set stuff down. I guess they're just trying to set up to find a kill on the Ogre.
He won't allow that to happen though. He's far too careful. Yeah. But there is an armlet on this Lifestealer, so he's getting fairly proficient at consumption of faces, so... There's a lot of stacks coming out in the jungle. By a lot, I mean one hard camp stack, so someone's going to have a look at that at some point.
Stuff. Easy peasy for them.
Kefka just taking the hard camp stack that Illidan has so kindly set up for him. He's a bit too scared to finish it off.
Waveform forward in mid lane. They are still BZZ. They pop the ultimate for it, and with the relocate, it's not quite going to be enough. We're in time. Come with me. Still diving for that, and is going to end up taking some tower shots for his trouble. There's the relocate back.
Yeah, they didn't quite consider the Centaur ulti though, so turns out that's pretty nice against relocate. It was actually like Centaur was considered like a counter pick to Wisp for quite a while just because of that, when everyone was relocate ganking everywhere.
Meanwhile, the Morphling takes down the tower, and Kefta continues his farming. They could just think about going down to the next lane as well. I mean, bottom lane's completely free and open. They've run into a Storm Spirit in the jungle, and Rage up. Illidan trying to run out of mana, out of time, out of life. So, a well worth it exchange as they lose the Lich for that. And now, pinks come out for the tower. It's time to pressure it.
Yeah, sometimes you kill a Lich and then you realize you're face to face with the man who, well, eats faces. And then what happens, really.
Radiant's bottom tower
It's not a great game to try and kill people with Storm. Like, you're using so much mana to try and do something here. Aramen's getting ran down a bit. They down the chakram, but he's gonna go over the trees. Maybe he can get out here.
They might still go for that.
They got a bit of burst though.
The Storm Spirit jumps in at the same time. They do find that kill on to come with me, but we're able to escape with our other hero. Kefka drops. Nicely played there. They're not going to be able to chase down the Centaur either. And
I see that
Arnold
nose.
toggling, looking for it. Not going to happen. He is going to die. Drop him out of there, and a triple kill for Illidan. Nicely played.
He's farmed. And Garter is just caught here with his invis. He thought he was safe, but he was not. And now, is he gonna go down here? No.
Got some strength.
Yeah, they got the wisp with the pit.
He's a pretty tough
They
cookie.
I'm not sure about that Chain Frost. Don't think he is either.
Yeah,
Man,
it's
playing
fine.
Storm with Bloodlust is so nice. Everything just feels right in the world when you get that Bloodlust.
It's a pretty great combination there. And I mean, the problem though is he's still like pretty far, not like behind necessarily, but I feel like he wants to try and get involved, and it's just not going to happen this early on. It's getting closer and closer to that Bloodstone. 800 gold away.
It's only a few more. It's only like a minute or two before he gets it, and then it's just a question of does he feel that he needs to fight as soon as he gets it, or can he still continue to farm a bit? Because I personally would wait until I had Treads and Bloodstone before I tried to fight, but maybe Bloodlust will encourage you to be a bit more active before then, because he's only 600 gold or so away.
Time will tell. They have ulti for this. They're getting in position to fight and, well, pop the rage, hit the tower. Still Centaur in the area. Looks like ProDota don't feel comfortable with it, and they do have an infest to go in with the Timbersaw if they want to take that route.
But I don't think they should try too hard to force a fight, because I don't think long fights really favor them, because eventually the Wisp is going to run out of uncharges as he already has. He's going to run out of bottle charges. People are going to get lower, and eventually Storm is going to get to the point where he's just going to out-farm you if you try and take too many fights. So I'm agreeable with them just trying to farm up the Bloodstone on Timber, try and get a Linken's on Morphling, and then when they get those key items, maybe try and take fights. Although Lifestealer may just want to fight anyway. He's going Orchid as well, so just having that bit of disable for the Storm is quite nice.
Absolutely. Just whatever they can get. I mean, we mentioned it in the draft a little bit. The lack of disable on ProDota definitely is a problem. And looks like Veil is going to be the option for the OD. Going straight that without even stopping by for any of his treads along the way.
BZ's a really big believer in going the Veil on OD straight away. He does it quite a lot, more so than anyone else I've seen. Everyone else is kind of shying away from going the Veil. Like, you see people going treads into Drum, into Hurricane Pike, you see people going treads into Hurricane Pike, you see people going almost anything into Hurricane Pike. Just being there, everyone just kind of buying that item. So, it's surprising to see someone who doesn't... Oh no, he's got the treads, so...
Huh. Alright. There we go.
Got it, it's going in. All the blink away from the center. Very good reactions. Jaguar-like almost.
I'm a little bit, I guess, with this type of a draft from Fantastic 5, do you think ProDota don't really have the pressure on them to try and end it? Like, are they comfortable with their Morphling going into the late game? Or, like, because they have this advantage, I feel like, right now. And it does feel like they're a little bit stronger. Is that something where they just are always thinking they're going to be stronger? Or what's your read on this?
They've got a Lifestealer and a Morphling, both of which are very hard to kill, so I don't think they're discontent going into this late game.
Come with me,
Illidan's in.
Yeah, they get that kill, and that is a Bloodstone charge.
It is a Bloodstone charge indeed. But they're looking at bot, but I don't think they can really do anything.
Garter's actually just dead. Centaur
Did he
finds
go back
that
in?
kill. He went back in. He waved for him forward. That's... want to kill some creeps.
I completely tell him, I thought he was out of there for sure, but yeah. So, in the late game, I wouldn't feel completely confident, because I'm never confident with Morphling in late game versus OD, because you have to go BKB, and I never like going BKB on Morphling, so it's just you're liable to explode sometimes. So, and Storm also is quite a lot of burst. Lich is dead. Well, he takes the Invis Room right out from under him, but
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Looking like they might even take this. A pretty quick and easy
Ooh,
jump
the
and
ult's not quite-
kill off as he's raged up, and the chase could still be there. I mean, well, Timber's in the area, so they do decide to back out. Not wanting to overstay their welcome. But the armlet toggling Lifestealer. I feel like this is kind of bold. They're still going to end up bringing down that Ogre. Slowed down for the moment with Illidan being only at half mana, not feeling confident going for this play.
can anyone buy his treads already, please? Please buy treads, Illidan. There we go. I'm very happy now. Oh, the bird's getting gone on. The bird is out.
Well, Viver is also going to get
He's
gone
dead
on.
again.
Got Garter in the area, able to replicate out of there. No big fuss or muss. And ProDota with the Lifestealer inside of him, ready to jump. Doing a decent... Oh my god, camera work. What is happening there? That's fine.
Araman drops down the ward. Sees, in fact, there are several heroes waiting to eat. Come with me. Gets ulted.
The jump forward, center ulti. They are going to be able to get the
he's
stun
chained
as they go
himself.
through. And now Illidan back into them. Doesn't want to overextend. Kefka's still there. Going to get controlled by Yol in a second when he comes out of this Astral, and the stun from the low ground up to the high ground, that's a deny. And more Bloodstone charges going towards Illidan.
You know, this game is just... Garter isn't actually that farmed. He had a good laning stage, but he didn't... Like, mid-Morphling doesn't really accelerate in farm like a safe lane Morphling does. He doesn't naturally move into the jungle. So, in the check.
He's dropping low, and the Astral,
He's dead.
finish him off. RMN gonna get killed off by Kefka. So, still chasing them down here, but Yol not gonna allow them to jump onto their Storm Spirit. He should pay for that. They've got the Chakram out and everything else being leveled against the Ogre. He ends up dying. So double for Kefka. He's trying to build back up a couple of those charges.
Dire's middle tower is under
Garter's sitting
attack.
pretty low on mana. Oh no, not again.
Looking for Biver.
The Lich alone.
Chakram through, still doing a decent chunk of damage himself, able to dodge away from that stun. The Centaur chase though, and Kefka dealing a damage. They bring in Garter, starting to bring down that Illidan Storm Spirit pretty low. He's back on the other side though, and meanwhile, across the map, Come With Me is battling against RMN. Io versus the Wyvern. Biver trying to chase down BZZ and does finally get caught. The right clicks are there. Kefka's still in the area trying to make something happen against RMN. Does a decent chunk of damage. Instead goes for the OD. BZZ controlled. They've got the kill. Nicely played. And now, south of there, Garter also going to get stunned, but they're chasing RMN as well as Yol. Doesn't feel like they really want to stop.
What's happening? I don't know what's happening. Everyone's just running around with bloodstones and dying and then not dying and then coming back and then fighting and then everyone's dying and then coming back, and this jungle is just I don't know. So Garter's going up to the top lane. He's getting pretty close to his Linkens now. Planes are flying overhead very, very annoyingly.
Orchid Illidan. He might be dead. There's going to be a
Once
cold
again, the
embrace
day is
onto him.
saved.
All right.
You gonna go for this? He is. Oh, come with me, not like this.
Illidan almost dead there. He's really close to going down. They are going to try and get out of here, though. Again, like the entire forest is deforested. It's gone. There's no more trees pretty much in this area. Just been fighting in the jungle for, I don't know, a couple minutes.
The story of this game is basically, it's up to Illidan to be all their damage, because currently they've got the Poverty Destroyer, and they've got the Centaur who, try as he might, cannot seem to land a stun on anyone for the time being. Like, there was several fights where he just didn't blink anywhere near the right people, so I think if they just play a little bit more disciplined, they try and get a bit higher level on the Storm so they can actually use the Vortex to get some kills, they'll be looking better, but In the meantime, they can just be annoying with the Flappy Bird Man and just throw some Splinter Blast at lanes.
I mean, they
but
they
he's
found
been
him.
spotted out.
No mana
but
for
he-
ulti.
Yeah. He just kind of panicked, as like, holy shit, there's a Wyvern. And yeah.
There's just no control on either team, really. I mean, the best thing that you've really got in this game is the Ogre Magi Fire Blast on the side of
Vortex
F5.
is like they've got this control. They've got the Centaur Blink into stun. They've got Wyvern
We've
ulti
talked about
just
how
to keep people
effective that's
down.
been.
Yeah. But there's also the Storm Vortex, which is like one of the main things, but he just needs to be a bit higher level, then he can start abusing that.
Right.
And then when he gets his Orchid, like the Storm, like Orchid plus Vortex, I mean, someone's basically just dead, unless they get a lot of healing coming out from the Wisp, which he does have his mech, so that could be an option.
Well, meanwhile, Illidan is going to run into Biver. This should be a pretty quick and easy kill. Remnant as well as everything else, but never mind, because we got Come With Me there to help him out a little bit further. They're going to try and turn this back around. They get the Force Staff away from the Winter Wyvern. That's a dead Centaur. Might be able to take down BZZ as well, and even though that's happening on the back line, Illidan was trying to make some plays happen himself. Lifestealer not in position to throw out his Orchid. Kefka still getting controlled. Dropped pretty low by that Sanity's Eclipse, but not going to transition into a complete and total kill as Garter switches back over to Strength form inside the Astral.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Lifestealer decides to call it quits, hopped into Kefka.
Yeah, this Odie just, he likes ulting people and not doing very much damage. That's just a fact of life, I guess. This Lifestealer, he's got 2k gold now. I'd be interested to see what he goes for. Oh, Ogre's
Just-
going after him.
He just raged too. That's really unfortunate. Nobody there to help him out, and Kefka's gonna try and make a play here, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Does he live through that? No, he doesn't.
Nope. Once you're below the threshold, you are basically dead unless you're, I don't know if you can rage. I think you can rage out of it, but actually I don't know. I know you can carapace the damage, I think. You can BKB the damage. But it's a weird interaction.
Absolutely.
You've got Centaur on the bot lane now, he's just kind of farming as
Radiant's
he
middle
wishes.
tower is under
And then
attack.
you've got a whole cluster of Radiant heroes sitting in this jungle. 22 Bloodstone charges on the Storm now, but he doesn't quite have his Orchid, so he's not quite as much of a threat as you think at this point. Although the Lifestealer's death is kind of a testament against that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, we were sort of expecting that in the earlier stages of the draft, the Centaur would just become that monster in the late game. It's kind of a transition back into, like we were talking about, the Blink Stomp. It hasn't translated into a ton of kills, as Come With Me is going to tether away in the top lane. But nonetheless, I'm kind of feeling like this game, eventually with ProDota, they've still just got so much going for them. Storm Spirit
Dire's
committed
middle
suicide?
tower
Yeah, he
has
actually,
fallen.
yeah, he got Orchided and he was just dead. So there's actually a Chain Frost running at him right now. It's flying across the map and it's going to hit him at some point because he had an instant revive. Oh, it's almost landing. Look at him. Oh, there we go.
boom.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Lordy, lordy.
But on the bot lane, Garter is taking this tower and no one is really there to stop him. So
They're actually diving in up top. They found Come With Me, pull him back in with the tether, dropping low, is dead. Looking for another one here, though. They do have an Orchid off cooldown, 10 seconds, but yeah, the save from OD will keep him alive. And now Garter's here as well. Kefka gonna be forced back as Biver is also under duress. 9 stick charges. Is it enough to keep him alive? It doesn't look like it. Fire Blast canceled. They actually throw the Lincoln Sphere onto him, but it's not gonna end up mattering. Jump forward, Illidan low, but not low enough. Still 29 HP is what he survived on. And
that Centaur replica is just boffing people. They're just kind of ignoring his existence for now.
oh my god. All right, well, Morphling finds the kill onto Wyvern. Kefka to the low ground. It's going to slow down BZZ enough to have Garter go through him, and with that Orchid, this should be a kill. Double for Garter.
Yeah, he's getting closer and closer to the items that really matter, so
Is under attack.
once he gets that E-Blade, the Storm, like, I can see the Storm going in, thinking like he's got Bloodstone, he's got Orchid or whatever, and then this Ice could just Orchid him and he just gets E-Blade and he just disappears. There's a lot of immediate burst damage that's on offer. Because there's 2 ways to deal with Storm. You either have a lot of disable, or you have some disable and a lot of damage. So whenever you go in, you always have to be like, am I going to get hit by that one disable in that time, and then you'll take 2,000 damage. Come With Me, however. Is he dead? He's dead. Yep. Yes.
It's a hard life. Storm Spirit actually able to get a decent amount of gold from that one. It pushes him to the top of the net worth. His godlike streak and his Orchid is finally going to be done. It's been a while, I feel like, but I guess it's working out. In the meantime, ProDota will secure themselves a Roshan, and it looks like with Ogre moving in, they can probably just burst him down pretty quickly. He does force staff away from there for the moment, and now with Centaur in the area, finds Biver. That's a kill.
Lich hasn't been permitted to live for very long in any... Did he mean to? No, he didn't mean to do that. Oh, he could wayform back in. Storm's getting closer, he's got his Orchid out. I feel if they catch this lifestealer with the Orchid, then the fight gets very, very easy very quickly. Because the OD, despite his farm deficiency, does still have a Hurricane Pike, and if the fight goes on without the lifestealer there, he's not really scared of much.
This is going to be a potentially pretty big engagement. They jump forward, Orchid the Wyvern immediately, but gets saved by the OD. Has the Lincoln Sphere on that lifesteal. That's a dead RMN, so no spells casted at all for him. On the other side, Kefka still controlled, brought down, and killed. The Sanity's Eclipse follow-up, and turning onto the lifestealer, not able to rage away from that one. Illidan taking the damage, but they kill off guard, and now he's gone too. So they threw out the silence. It came too late from the lifestealer, and now two other heroes gone. The Lich ulti is going to bounce, but it's not going to do nearly enough damage. 4 dead in the jungle, and that is feeling pretty tough for ProDota.
Yeah, that was a point there where Lifestealer was like, I'm raged, I'm going to right-click someone. And then the OD got forced out of the way. And then he got an Orchid on the Storm, and the Storm got forced out of the way. And then he was like, I'm going to go on the Ogre. And the Ogre got forced out of the way, because there's just a lot of force stuffs in this game. So, and then without... It's really, really hard for them to focus anyone until they got the E-Blade. And when they get the E-Blade, maybe they'll have a better time, but I think the Storm's just getting bigger and bigger now. Oh, he finds... doesn't quite get the jump in.
That's a rough life. 22. It's a pretty good number for him. He's going to spot Kefka here and just goes for the Vortex immediately. Orchid off cooldown in a couple of seconds, but doesn't manage to get that off in time. Now it looks like the sight's set towards the mid lane. Come with me, kind of alone, as is Biver, and yeah, that's a dead Lich. Dominating streak for BCZ. He is on top of it. Man, they are feeling pretty good right now.
I'm not sold on this Lich pick, really. It hasn't really done that much in this game. Like, he's literally just a sacrifice and a Chain Frost, because he can't really do anything else. And now it's like, by the time he gets enraged to use something on him, or something on like the Storm or the Centaur, like there's already 4 heroes on top of him, all of them just instantly killing him. So.
Well, Centaur, even though he is not the max strength build that we are used to seeing, he still does a little bit of damage to the tower when hit by it, and they're also able to just hit it with the rest of their heroes. But it is feeling like Fantastic Five have maybe found their way in towards a win here.
Yeah, they picked up the Yules on the Storm.
He's gone. Come with me. Yeah, they spot him out. That's a dead Zoe. Io gone, and... ugh.
See, I'm not a huge fan of the Yules on Storm. Like, I never really feel that it's not quite... doesn't really feel natural. Like, you want to get it against Silence, I know, but I always feel like a Linken's or a BKB is usually the answer.
Oh, Kefka caught in the middle of his soup away, and now silenced up as well. They've got the Astral to keep him dead, man.
Oh, they got the Blinkstone.
He is going to get caught out there. A little bit awkward. That's fine. Everything's fine. It's all good.
That's not fine. That is quite the opposite of fine.
Oh.
Dire's middle tower is under
It's
attack.
fine.
Like, I'm slightly annoyed just watching that.
Okay.
If I was any one of the 4 players on that team at that point, then I imagine some choice words have been said. Well, they probably have some team discipline. They're probably a bit kinder than me.
Radiant's
But
top
it's
tower
fine.
is under attack.
So he's got the Shivan Guard coming out to him now. The Lifestealer's having a bit of a hard time trying to do any damage at this point because, honestly, his 2 damage... He's got an Orchid and an Armlet. That's it, really, at 30 minutes. He doesn't do that much.
Dire's bottom
So the damage is
tower
almost
has
all on
fallen.
the Timbersaw and this Morphling.
Yeah, and I do like that, you know, he recognizes this. He's not necessarily trying to remedy the fact. He's trying to be a better version of what he is right now, which is a blink orchid as opposed to just like a walk in an orchid. So it's not like ideal, certainly, and eventually he's going to be able to transition this into better items, but it is something where they can find the kills if they have that other
down here
damage.
if they can get a blink onto him.
There's the jump, there's the right clicks, they've got the chakram, but guess what? He's got a force staff.
He's got a 4-staff and a pipe, so yep, it's not to be. This Kefir's going for a quick Lotus Orb, so he doesn't want to get orchided and just destroyed. I agree with the item position. Come with me is going for a Yule Scepter of Divinity.
They know. Illidan might realize what's going on. That'd be a long zip. Thought they pinged it. Ogre actually is going back for an Ags. He has that in 800 gold. He is incredibly farmed.
I mean, he is the greatest of all ogres. He's got 2 hits. He doesn't just have 1. He is very lucky, and he has a club. And he has used this club to throw balls of fire, which I still don't know. It's like, does he like lob it up in one hand and then throw it, or then like hit it like with a bat with his club? Like, I don't quite know how that works.
I think you should write the lore. It'll be great.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Not much of a creative writer myself.
Okay. That'll be good. I don't know. I think that right now that's feeling like it's Fantastic Five's games to lose. They're just all over the tier 3 towers now, and Biver has kind of been food for the past several minutes.
Several?
Yeah.
It's been ever since minute 4, I think. He's just, ever since the Storm got his ulti and eyes, I think he's just kind of ran at Biver until the end of time. You got Centaur going for the Lotus Orb. He decides he wants one too, so the orchids on both teams are going to be slightly less effectual. Oh, Storm's also just kind of acquiring net worth as he goes.
Invisibility.
Not got much in the CS department, but I guess the 12 kills kind of help out.
Yeah. It's been a pretty good one for him. I mean, he did die 3 times. There's a little bit of scary moments in the mid-game section. And Garter now, maybe they might be able to do something here. He's in some trouble. Yule Scepter lift up. They haven't used the Orchid yet, and they find that kill.
I love that. Garter just goes, I'm not going to get this kill with my damage adaptive, so I'm going to walk all the way up to
relocate.
Link on this
Found the OD. He's in trouble now, too. They do end up dropping down the kill onto Timbersaw, but meanwhile, the Winter Wyvern ultimate keeps the Lifestealer in place, trying to get their OD out of there. It looks like it will happen.
Well, they did kill the Storm, but the Storm now does have a Bloodthorn. Now, I'm a believer in the fact that Storm does just need a Linken's to function in late game. No matter what the game, I think he just needs a Linken's. And I'm slightly apprehensive that he's gone for this Yules and he's gone for all this stuff, because I don't think this really helps him do what he wants to do. I'm pretty sure if he just went Orchid straight into a Linken's, he would be better off right now. But that's just a minor issue that I've got with it, but he can live his life as he so wishes. Got PCC's got 2,700 gold now. He's just buying another Mystic Staff. He just wants a lot of int. Very smart man.
Didn't even end up going back for the Veil either. Just the 2 Null Rallies, because why not? They break the smoke on the Centaur, and as soon as they show, they're going to end up dropping pretty freaking quickly. There's an Adaptive Strike hit onto Storm Spirit. He's stunned for a while, but coming out of it is going to be able to escape, at least for the moment,
running around
from
on 3,000
Lifestealer. Morphs is going to get jumped upon now. He gets the E-Blade, keeping himself rather tanky, and meanwhile, some more damage being dealt, but they get the relocate back, so Garter's fine. And meanwhile, they jump forward. Come with me. It's just going to end up dropping to this. They stun out several of them, does the damage, and that's going to be a dead Garter. No great luck at getting away from that one, and now also turning onto the Lifestealer. He's gone. That's tier 3 dead, and it looks like it potentially could be a bit more as they're bringing down this Morphling. He's going to drop. Die back for the Morph. GG gets called, and ProDota end up losing the Fantastic Five. Centaur 2 games in a row. Not bad.
Yeah, Centaur seems to be the hero of the day. So yeah, Storm started off pretty strong. He died quite early on, but then he came back, got a triple kill quite early, and then he just kept getting more and more farmed. It looked like he stalled for a bit, had to commit suicide at one point, but then after that he just kind of kept getting bigger and bigger. If you just look at the net worth, you can see that it's just started off like he almost got caught up with it. Nink's got a bit ahead of him, and so did the Morphling, so did the Timber. And then just fight off fight, Storm just keeps profiteering off of it, and then Morphling and Niggs are just kind of left in the dust.
This is so cool. I love how you can see the net worth change over time throughout the course of the game.
It's one of my favorite things to look at.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll switch back over to the schedule so you guys can see what's going on. There will be an updated schedule over the next couple of days as to what the other games are, but this finishes off our last of the first round of Dota 2. Fantastic Five end up taking down ProDota Gaming 2-1. All this series have been 3-game sets, so feeling like it's relatively even in the European region. Ryan, we've got a whole heck of a lot of different teams that are in this one. Vega Squadron, Empire, Elements Gaming, Power Rangers, Friends, Kaipi, ProDota, and Fantastic Five. Are any of those teams really standing out to you from what you've seen as strong, maybe top of the mark teams, or any that you think might end up dropping out on the earlier side?
Well, I like watching Kaipi play. I find their games quite funny. I think Fantastic Five are like one of the better teams in this. I think they underperformed quite heavily in the game that they lost. I don't think that was representative of what they can do. I think Empire looked kind of promising, but for the rest of them, did you say Vega Squadron? I think Vega still have no one, right? And they have a lot.
I don't think that they actually do. They
I don't remember the lineups, so
everything's switched up now.
I will reserve judgment till that point.
Okay, Vega Squadron now is FN, Iceberg, Mag, FNG, and Sioma the Slayer.
Yeah, they got Sioma, who's like 8.8. They got FN, who's one of the better hard carry players I see in my pubs. But
what about Mr. Iceberg?
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
It sounds good. All right, well, I think that'll about do it for us here. We'll see how they end up doing. Still a lot to be decided. Thank you again so much for joining me. Everybody go follow him at Rhyme Dota. I've been Lyrical Dota, and of course the tournament, the Summit 6 European qualifiers. We still got SEA, NA, and Chinese games that are all going to come over the next couple of days. And yeah, all presented by BTS. Any final words before we sign off?
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
It's definitely. All right, everybody, have a good one, and we will see you guys next time.